Hello everyone and welcome to Timberborn. This is the first episode of the Road to 1000 Beavers. A few years ago I did a similar challenge, Road to 500 Beavers, but the game has changed quite a bit in those last 3 years. So now I'll go ahead and do a new challenge, Road to 1000 Beavers. We'll be sticking with the folktales for this one since I've done quite a few challenges with the Iron Teeth in the last few series. And then we'll be doing it on Helix Mountain. We'll stick with normal difficulty. And so this map has actually changed quite a bit since I last played it. I don't know when they ended up making the update, but now it is very different. There's still the whole helix in the middle, but now we have some bad water spawning in on the side, and there looks like there's just completely different water paths now. But right off the bat, let's get a few things set up. First and foremost, let's get some wood chopped down. We'll go ahead and raise the starting amount of workers that we have, and then we'll also just mark all the trees to get chopped down. Now I think this might actually be all the trees that we have access to, so we'll try and make sure we have at least a couple that we haven't marked, just in case we chop all the trees down. We don't want to be left with no wood. And then we'll also get a water pump set to be constructed, make this highest priority for both workplace and construction. And then we also need to get some food set up with the farmhouse. We're going to stick to be on this side since I think I'll be placing the dams right across here just to keep this little part irrigated. And then we can also mark some of these berries to be removed since we don't really need them. We have 130 food right now. And then we'll also have the beavers plant some carrots and sunflowers right off the bat since those don't require any processing to be edible. And we don't need 3 workers in here right off the bat. We do have some vacant jobs already, so let's go ahead and assign some priorities to some of these different lumberjack flags. We can also set the working hours to be 18 right off the bat since we don't really have anything else that they can do during their free time at the moment. But after a few days, once they've chopped some trees down, we can get some campfires and then probably some rooftop terraces set up. Now we also need to get some storages set up, and we're going to want to utilize the green space as much as we can. So we'll try and get some storages set up on this back wall here. And another very important building that we need to get set up is the inventor's hut. In fact, we'll actually get a couple of those set up, and we want to make sure we get at least one of those constructed first. Then we can have a couple of the water storages set up. And one of the recent changes that they made is that they reduced the amount of science you need for the forester to be only 30. So that was a nice little addition that they gave us. And then thinking forward, we are going to want to get a lumber mill set up. So temporarily, we're going to get one placed somewhere right over here, I think. But we will also need to get a water wheel set up. And so they should be able to reach this. We will prioritize this above the lumber mill. Although I guess we can set this to normal and then just lower this on the priority list. We'll have them construct these few buildings first and then they can get over to here. So while the beavers are working on constructing all of that, I am looking around and I'm seeing quite a few different bad water spawners. But I'm also seeing a second water spawner over here in the corner. Plus there's several mines scattered around, plus a bunch of scrap metal. We have a few choices for the closest scrap metal. This one is physically the closest, but we have to go quite a bit up in elevation, and then we would probably have to bridge across. Versus over here, we could probably make a few platforms, and then go up a little bit in elevation to get this scrap metal. So we have some good choices, and in terms of wood, like I said in the beginning, these are really the only trees plus this that we have access to. Once we can get over here, then we'll have some more wood that we can chop down. Some of it is still growing. Some of it has unfortunately died, but with this being the Road to 1000 Beaver challenge, 1000 beavers is a lot. I did pick one of the bigger maps to do this on, and so with increasing our population that much, right off the bat I'm going to try and get as many trees planted as I can. We'll have the initial forester set up somewhere over here, then we'll probably get a few more foresters, but I probably won't do that until we get some more houses set up, because right now we have 0 houses, and as you can see, all the beavers are sleeping outside. Looks like this beaver is set on his butt. We'll make sure we pause that. So now we can have him work in one of these other lumberjack flags. Looks like we have... the carrots are only about halfway to growing up, so that'll be another day and a half. We are running a little bit short on food. We have 42 berries left. But if worse comes to worse, we can plant down a gatherer flag, have that beaver collect the berries that are here. But I don't think it'll come to that since the food's pretty close to being done. And so as of recording this episode, I am about 12 episodes into the One Pod Challenge, which if you have not checked out that series, you should go ahead and take a look at that. It has been a lot of fun, and it is basically the opposite of this challenge since I only have one breeding pod with the Iron Teeth. And so in order to get around the lower population of beavers, we have a lot of bots set up, and I definitely have run into a few challenges during that series. But it looks like we have the perfect amount of science right now, so we can go ahead and actually unlock the forester. So we'll go ahead and place it down right over here. We'll have this set to higher priority for jobs, and then we'll plant some pine trees over here. I do want to get some oak set up, since that is just the most efficient wood. But in the very beginning we will need a lot of wood, and it takes quite a while for this to grow up. Looks like we have our first lumber mill set up, which means we should probably get some storages set up as well. And we also have some food that has been growing up, which is excellent news. Looks like the beavers did clear some of the berries over here. So we'll go ahead and extend the carrots to be planted all up over there. And we're going to set up some temporary storages along the back wall here. And oh my goodness, we have a lot of hungry beavers. Let's go ahead and increase the amount of farmers we have. And we also need to get some houses set up, so we'll go ahead and start placing some lodges over in this area. And overall the beavers are still a bit hungry. We'll bump that up to 3 workers for now. And we're getting pretty close to unlocking the levee, which I'm going to try and have probably about half of this dammed up with levees. The other half will actually use dams, since it costs quite a bit less wood to build a levee than it does to construct a dam. Looks like there are a few houses that they've been constructing. We're going to get 5 set up for now, since that should be 15 beavers, and that means we could get a few more babies that will be conceived, and then we'll be able to start slowly growing our population. As you can see, the beavers are starting to sleep in the houses, and that is helping their well-being. Now it's not in the negative, so that is a good thing. And the beavers have temporarily gotten all the stuff they need to be constructed done, so we'll go ahead and reduce the amount of beavers that we're working in here, toss one of them into the inventor's hut. And by the end of the day, it looks like we got the 120 science, so now we can get this levee unlocked. And then soon we can have access to all this fresh wood over here. And the beavers have started constructing the dams over here. It'll cost quite a bit of wood, but I think we should have enough between all these trees and then some of these trees over here. We are also basically maxed out on planks, so we'll go ahead and pause this guy for now. We'll get another beaver put into the district center, help construct this dam even faster. And even if we end up not being able to get all the way across, since if we run out of wood, then we could always demolish some of this, take some of the wood back, and then get some stairs unlocked. And then we could just utilize planks to get over here, just have them walk down, across, and back up. It is the beginning of day 13, and I can only imagine that a drought is approaching soon. So we have at least today, and then probably 3 more days before we need to get this constructed, and the water will stop flowing through. But that does mean we need to start thinking about what are the events going to look like. For a drought, obviously the water will stop flowing, and really it'll back all the way up to here. This will be really the only water that we have access to for a short while. But during a bad tide, we do not want bad water going all the way around, infecting everything and killing all the plant life going down to our little colony. So we'll need to make sure we have some sort of diversion system set up. I'm looking at what some good candidates are. So we have a few different options, but some of them require dynamite, which is not guaranteed that we'll have that before the first bad tide. And it looks like we do have a drought approaching in 3 days. So the beavers are actually pretty close to finishing this. Looks like we will have enough wood to get the job done. And then we can get another lumberjack set up and help replenish our wood stores. And we'll also get another forester set up over here. We'll have him replant some of this oak over here, and then we'll get some more pines up as well. But as I was saying, the bad water would be diverted over here, and then probably all the way on the back side. We could have it funnel out this way, and then maybe somewhere off the back side of the map. And that might be our best option, but once we get a better foundation set up for the colony, then we can start looking at exploring over there. And the beavers finished constructing the dam, which is excellent news. We now have a little bit of water stored up over here, which will help irrigate all of our crops, and then irrigate some of the trees as well. We can go ahead and pause some of these lumberjack flags since there's no more wood they can chop down over here, but we can chop some of these trees down on this side. So now we can have a couple campfires set up since they have access to long-term water and some more wood on this side of the river. And the drought has officially started, but it'll take a while for the water to stop flowing all the way around the helix down to our little area. And with it being the 1000 beaver challenge, I am going to start rapidly expanding our colony. But that will also mean we will have an increased water demand, so we'll have to get a second water pump set up, and we'll want to prioritize this first. And this is the first evening that the beavers can enjoy doing something fun other than just sitting around. We have a couple campfires that they're able to use, and you can tell they are enjoying it. And one thing I do want to do with this challenge is actually make an aesthetic build. A fair amount of the videos that I have been doing, they don't really focus on making pretty colonies. We mostly focus on getting the task done, but for this one, we're going to be here a while, so might as well make it look good. And a lot of what we see right now is just to get everything set up in the beginning, need to make sure that we have enough access to wood and food. But over the course of the next couple episodes, I'll probably do some rearranging and think a little bit more big picture and try and get some areas set up for water collection, food, and wood production, and also for the actual production of materials, including planks, gears, paper, all that stuff. And we had a couple baby beavers be born in the night, so we are up to 4 children, but we have to make sure we have enough jobs for them once they grow up, and so we'll look at getting a few more inventor's huts set up over here. We also need to get some more storage set up since we have maxed out on wood with our mini storage. And it is the first day of the second wet season. You can see the water is slowly making its way all the way around the spiral. We'll still probably take another half a day before it reaches us down here. We can also get a couple rooftop terraces set up over here. That means you will need to unlock both the platform and the stairs to get them all the way up here. So we do have the lumber mill set up over here. I think in the long run I'm going to want to have production over in this area. Once we eventually get dynamite, we can break this backside out a little bit, but I don't think that we'll be too limited on space leading up to that. So I'll probably get some water wheels set up over here and then have some power shafts that direct the power all the way up into this area. And we might even, looks like there's a little bit of flooding, but we might even want to have this area set to production as well. We do have some decent green space over here. And as soon as I get the fluid dump unlocked, then we can also look at having some artificial green spaces set up. And there is a decent amount of flooding on this backside here. That is interesting. I'm guessing it will recede. Yeah, there it is. Starting to recede a little bit. In the long run, I will probably replace these dams with some floodgates instead, since those can be adjusted and it seems like they cause less flooding than the dams do. But I am liking this whole area to be a potential artificial green space. I think what we could do is if we set up some sort of water diversion system to flood this area, we would need to dam up at least a couple levels over here, and then that would create a little bit of a pool. And then that would give us a lot more green space that we could be working with, getting extra trees and food planted. Although for now we have so much food, we can't even harvest it all. Plus I reduced the amount of workers that we have down to 2 temporarily. But when we have some more beavers that need a job, we can always throw one in here. And now that I am thinking about it, I think that probably moving this production over here will be a good idea in the short to medium term. And then we can continue adding production along here and then up into the second level. So we'll go ahead and get a couple lumber mills set up here, but we'll go ahead and actually pause both of them for now. And then we'll start getting some levees set up, and then we'll start constructing some power wheels as well. So we can look at doing something like this, and then we'll get these power shafts set up over here. Although let's actually remove this one, and we'll get the 4-way power shaft set up so then we can build more of these over in this direction and down here. And then we can connect them all in to be part of one big system. But we should look at getting the gear workshop set up earlier, so we can unlock that and get that set up right here. And we have 6 children now. We still have 8 unoccupied beds. So there'll be more beavers that will be reproducing probably in the next few days, hopefully. But it seems like overall we're doing pretty dang good. We'll get the second water pump unpaused. And now that they can actually reach all this, we can go ahead and unpause this first lumber mill. We'll go ahead and lower the priority on these buildings. And then pretty soon we can go ahead and remove this whole structure and get that wood back and shift our production entirely on this side. We do want to make sure we have some storage set up for all these buildings. And one of the cool features of the most recent update is that they added in the zipline station. So for the folktails, they will be able to zip from station to station. I'll probably have some sort of central hub near the district center, and then we'll have it spread out to some of the other areas that we are working and producing stuff. And so I'm looking forward to getting that unlocked. It will definitely help the beavers move around and get resources from place to place. And we can also have this forester plant some extra trees. And it looks like we also have some wood that has grown up over here. Looks like they had this lumber mill set up, so we'll go ahead and unpause this, and then we can go ahead and remove this one. So as soon as all these trees are finished being chopped down, I am going to look at getting some more storage set up over here. We'll be able to expand some of the existing systems. We'll shift probably, I guess we'll have an additional wood storage over here. And then we'll get a larger pile setup for some plank storage. And we are running a little bit short on beavers right now. We have several unoccupied beds. I think we should look at getting the beavers' well-being up. So let's get some potatoes planted over here. And then we can also get a grill set up, and we'll set that recipe to potatoes. And that puts us in a great spot to end today's episode. We have everything we need to right now. We have plenty of food and water, and we are planning ahead for wood. And then pretty shortly, probably in the next episode, we'll get even more wood planted just to make sure that we do not run out anytime in the future. So if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and smash that like button. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you're looking forward to in this series. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.